Welcome to the Kingdom Corner. We're back, season 3, Dale, and we are excited for what is going on with your finger. You
I
can't
don't
see that
know.
and not bring it up.
Gee whiz.
Did you play football? I mean,
I played
that
basketball. I
that
never
looks.
noticed that. Man.
I don't know how you don't notice that. Oh man, what an
Oh,
introduction to start season 3, Dale's
man. Let's do
finger.
this. Let's do this
There
side,
you
huh?
go. There
There we
you
go.
go.
Oh,
Oh.
or I did something to that
Oh
thing. All
man,
right, here we go.
if you're not
Yeah.
watching on video, you probably should check out the video for this one, at least for this first part, because that is that's pretty great. So, but hey, we're
Oh,
here
yeah.
for season 3. So the season starting here in 2 weeks from today. We
Phew.
finish up the preseason 0-3, but so today we're going to be going over our schedule for the year, what we think is going to happen,
Yeah.
maybe some hot takes or predictions for the year, some of the contracts and new contracts that are happening, maybe some of the roster cuts we foresee coming or not coming even. So, but let's jump into this.
Let's do it.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions. How about those Chiefs?
As far as the team goes, the preseason is now over, training camp's over. Is there any players that you think are going to surprise people that are going to make the team, or even some that might be cut?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any I mean, the Steel Kid looks amazing, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
he's going to have like an impact, whether it be on special teams or it be as the fullback as he's listed there. He's going to have a huge impact. I think some people that are on the fringe there that would probably not a surprise. Kadarius Toney being on the fringe, Sky Moore being on the fringe, whether he's going to make the team or going to be on the practice squad or someone's going to pick him up. So I mean, like those are all things, all very real things that could happen here that we spent draft picks on, and they may not even play.
Yeah, may not even make the team, even if they were
Right.
drafted. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I think wide receiver is the one to look out for the most. I think there's so
Yeah.
much, and I'm not even going to predict what's going to happen because
Yeah.
there's so much that I think could go either way for about 5 of those guys. So you mentioned some of those, but Justin Ross, they
Yeah.
got Nico Remigio, if I'm saying that
Yeah.
correctly, hopefully.
Very
So
good.
Cornell Powell looked good this preseason.
Yeah.
I don't know that he'll make the team, but he looked good this preseason, better than he's looked since he's been with the Chiefs. So,
Right.
I mean, there's just a lot of questions. Justin Ross started to make some good contested
Yeah.
catches again. So, if I'm going to make one prediction about the wide receivers, other than the ones who I think we know are going to make the team,
Yeah.
including Justin Watson, I think is going to make the team.
Oh,
Whether
yeah.
people think he is or not, he will. But the one that I'm going to throw out there, there's 2 that I'm going to say are going to make the team that might surprise. I think Remigio is going to make the team,
Okay.
and I think Justin Ross is going to make the 53-man roster.
Okay.
So I think they're only going to keep either McCole Hardman or Kadarius Toney. They're not going to keep both those guys.
Phew,
One of those
same guy.
guys. One of
Same
those
guy.
guys. Yeah. One's a little bit faster, but one's little more sure-handed. So
Yeah.
you
And
know,
then when the cuts, you said when the
Tuesday.
cuts Tuesday. So the 53 roster has to be sent in Tuesday to the league, and then that's who we got. So it'll be interesting to see who's on that and who's not on it. And obviously, we wish all the guys could make the team, but there's only could be 53, and so a lot of those guys will probably get picked up too.
Yeah. So maybe this is a good question for our roster. Who or what position, I should say, do you think the Chiefs are in most need of? Like, where's their weakest point right now? If they could use and find maybe a really good, I'm not saying they will, but if they could find a really good veteran to bring in help with one position, what position do you think that would be?
Yeah, well, there's 2 that pop in my mind right away. It's a corner and linebacker.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I know we disagree on the linebacking core, and
we do.
yeah. So I like Chanel. I like Tranquil. I just think we lost a lot in with Willie Gay and his speed. So I know a veteran probably wouldn't bring a lot of speed, but I think and Drew Tranquil, he's great. I love watching him play. He's so smart. It seems like he just can diagnose a play and know where the ball's going to be, and he's usually there. And so I think, yeah. But those are probably the 2 positions. I think safety is pretty locked in, and I think the defensive line would. I mean, depending on what he
I
does
would
on the
say defensive end is the one I'd bring in the most
right. Yeah.
because with the Minahu out, I think the Chiefs are going to take a step back this year as far as putting pressure on the passer this year.
Yeah.
So that's a prediction. Maybe when Minahu comes back, if he's good to go and in full season form, then that could
Yeah.
change. But
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
think until Minahu comes back, I think our pass rush is going to struggle. So our
When I think,
interior, when Chris Jones is in
yeah.
there, maybe be fine. But on the edge,
Right.
they're just going to double team George out there and say beat
Yeah.
us with somebody else. And I don't know that we have a guy that can consistently do that.
Right. And then when does the Mayhew come back?
Don't know.
Don't
Whenever
know.
he's better.
Whenever he's better. There you go. You sound like Andy Reid's press conferences.
Hey, maybe I am. Little Andy Reid nephew here or something.
There you go. So yeah, he definitely when he came back, I know he was suspended 6 weeks, and then when he got on the field, man, he was just getting better and better every game, and it was awesome to watch.
Yeah, he was. All right, well, let's jump into the schedule for the year. So,
all right,
there
let's
is
do
a
it.
lot to go over. We're not going to diagnose every one of these games because we're going to do that throughout the season. So we don't need to do that right now.
Okay,
so,
all right.
But if you want to say one or two things about it, you can. But
I will.
A pastor can't help but explain himself over and over again.
That's right.
The same thing 3 different times. So. Oh man. All right. So first game, 2 weeks from today, we played the Baltimore Ravens in Arrowhead Thursday night to kick off the season. So the Ravens, you got to point out that they lost a couple of defensive guys, but they gained Derrick Henry, which is huge.
Right. Huge. So, and Mark Andrews will be back and healthy and playing full force. So I know that's like a big part of it. But I'm going to go ahead and Andy Reid has been working on the Ravens all training camp, preseason. I think they're going to try to do things to the Baltimore Ravens that's going to slow them down enough to where the Chiefs can get the W on opening night. Usually they win opening night. Yeah. Now, last year they lost to the Lions because Chris Jones and Travis Kelce were not on the field. But I think they win.
Tony had a pick 6 through his hands.
Yeah, and dropped the ball to get us in field goal range, at least going to overtime. So yeah,
I agree. I think Chiefs are going to pull out that first one. To all the points you said, Andy Reid is so prepared for that first game.
Yeah,
and while we might not know a lot about the Ravens, they're not going to know a lot about the Chiefs coming in either.
Right,
haven't showed anything this preseason. So brings us to week 2 against the Cincinnati Bengals.
I hate the Bengals.
Oh man. I want to put a W here so bad. And this is the one I'm struggling with the most. It's just
the benefits are it is an Arrowhead.
Yes, it is an Arrowhead.
And Tony Romo will be on the call.
Oh, Tony. I guess I'll have to mute that game. But
Mitch Holtz is always a good listen.
Yeah, Tony Romo's all right, just not my favorite commentator. But that's all right.
I'm going Homer. I'm saying Chiefs are going to win. I think they got something to prove to the Bengals. I know they hate the Bengals probably as much as we hate the Bengals, if not more. And then the comments they've made about Pat and Jamar Chase hasn't played. I mean, I don't think he's even practiced all preseason. So
Jamar Chase has been in the building, but he hasn't practiced at all. There's rumors he won't play until he gets a new contract, even though there's 2 years left on his current contract. So
it's a
go crazy situation.
Yeah, so if Jamar Chase and then you got T. Higgins, the great quarterback. But yeah, I think they lost a lot on the defense side of the ball this past offseason. I know one of their pass rushers and maybe one of their safeties that was really good. But I don't know if that may be just my memory failing me. So
it probably is.
Yep, I'm going to go Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win. Chiefs are going to win.
Man, I go back and forth because I think it depends a lot if Jamar Chase is playing or not.
Yeah.
I think if Jamar Chase plays, the Chiefs are going to drop this one just because they have such a tough schedule to open the season. They're going to drop one of them, I think.
Yeah.
So I think this is the one that might catch them. But the flip side of that is if Jamar Chase doesn't play, I think that creates such a different dynamic for the Chiefs that they would win. So, But I'm going to go ahead and put that one down as an L for the Chiefs. When we get to week 2, I'm probably going to say the Chiefs are going to win.
Right. Sure.
But right now, I'm just going to write down as an L. Not that
and we haven't seen the Bengals.
Yeah,
we haven't seen the Bengals either very much, and so I'll be interested to watch that game, their first game too.
Hey, the Bengals have it out for the Chiefs. I mean,
Yeah.
we were knocking everybody out last year, so
Yeah.
they're not happy. And anyways, so then we
No.
got at Atlanta.
Yeah, this is my sleeper team of the year, the Falcons. I think they are going to make a strong run because of the division they're in, and they have probably the softest schedule because they were so bad last year, and then they added a bunch of players. So we'll see, but I think the Chiefs going to Atlanta feeling good, beating the Ravens and the Bengals, and they drop the Falcons game because they feel so good.
All right. Well, I'm going the opposite because I'm going
Yeah.
that because they lost one to the Bengals, they're coming
Right.
in refocused
Yeah.
and they're coming in with the W against the Falcons there. Though I do agree. I think the Falcons are going to be a really good team this year and one to watch out for. So
Yeah.
following week, we go to the Chargers with the new coach
Yeah.
and Harbaugh and with all their guys there.
Pat Mahomes is still undefeated on the road in the AFC West. So is it not?
No.
Did he lose to Denver? Oh, he lost to Denver.
Last year they lost.
Oh, dang.
But sorry to burst that bubble for you once again. But there was a good streak that we had going. So he's lost one game on the road now.
And I think the Chargers are not going to be, and we'll talk a lot about the Chargers because they're in our division, but our conference division. But yeah, so I don't think they're the same Chargers as years past. And I think they're taking 2 steps back, if you will. And I think they get a dub here.
You think the Chargers do? Or
Chiefs.
Well, you just said talking about the Chargers.
Well, I was talking about how bad they're going to be.
I'm just making sure I'm understanding it right here. Because when I come back to the end of the season and say, this is what you said, I don't want you to say I misquoted you. So, but I agree that the Chargers have a whole new regimen come in with their coaching staff. I think their coach is a good coach, but they lost their their number 1 and number 2 wide receiver from last year. So that's going to hurt them a little bit. I think they'll figure it out, but not this early in the season. The Chiefs will take this one.
Yeah.
So next week we host the New Orleans Saints.
Chiefs own Derek Carr. That's all I'm going to say. Rent free.
The team that your guy Willie Gay went to as well. So
all right, a little homecoming.
Yeah, a couple guys there. So then we have our bye week. Next week we go to the 49ers.
Which can we just pause for a moment? The bye week is ridiculous for the defending Super Bowl champions to be week 6.
You know what, though? I don't disagree with you, but I was thinking about that, too. The Chiefs have had such a late bye week for however many years now that they're bound to have an early one at some point, and this is the year it got them. So I would prefer it to be later, but I'm not going to argue about it because they've had late bye weeks for the last, I don't know, it seems like 5 years or so.
So
I won't complain about that too much. So, but going to the 49ers, I think it's going to be a tough game. The 49ers, they're coming off the second Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs in 5 years. And so they're coming in trying to beat the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs, this is going to be a tough game up and down.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs have their number for whatever reason. Not that it's easy, but it's just like the Bills in the playoffs. The Bills can beat the Chiefs in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, the Bills can't figure out how to get over them. And I think that's kind of like what the 49ers are. They know how to play them tough, but the Chiefs just know how to punch it through. So I'm going with the W for the Chiefs there.
Okay, I'm going for an L for the Chiefs.
All right.
For a lot of reasons what you said there. I think the biggest thing is like Buffalo owns the Chiefs in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, they can't do anything. And so I think it's the same thing. We own the 49ers in the playoffs, or in the Super Bowl, I guess we should say, because that's the only time they meet up. But I think they'll get one here. So I already got 2 losses, which I'm usually the guy saying Chiefs are going undefeated, but man.
Hey, and this is coming off a bye too, which I think plays a factor as well. So, but go ahead, go with your L. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All
right. Then next
I already said it.
Next we go to the Raiders.
Well, where we won the Super Bowl at.
That's right. At Allegiant
So
Stadium.
is this a home game for us?
It basically is. So the Chiefs have won more postseason games at Allegiant Stadium than the Raiders have.
Yeah, and which hopefully everyone will probably see the couple Raiders players making fun of Pat with the Kermit the Frog puppet wearing a 15 jersey. So I think that we're gonna get a little taste of revenge here.
And
week 8.
And don't think that Pat Mahomes doesn't notice those things. He might not ever say it from the podium,
Yeah.
but he notices all of those
Oh,
things.
yeah.
It's
He
kind of
knows
like
all.
Michael Jordan, where you're so
Yeah.
great that you're looking for some motivation. I mean, the
Right.
difference is that Michael Jordan had to make things up to get motivation.
Yeah.
With Patrick Mahomes, people are just giving him things. I'm
Yeah.
like, why would you do that to the greatest player in the league right now, giving him fuel to beat you and some more motivation? Makes no sense, but people keep doing it. So,
Yeah.
but please keep doing it. It helps us out a lot. I love seeing the motivation, the fire in Pat Mahomes.
Right.
He already has enough, but you give him more, good luck. So, the Raiders are not going to be good this year. All right, next week we host the
Whoa.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, your boy Baker Mayfield coming to town. What do you think?
Well, I think that Tampa Bay is overrated, and they're gonna get a stomping here. So
There you
maybe
go.
not a stomping, but the Chiefs will win.
Monday night game. Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
going. I'm going Chiefs with a dub.
all right. Next week we host the Denver Broncos. I don't know if there's much to say about the Broncos, honestly, because the Broncos, I don't feel like they did hardly anything. They drafted a quarterback who is now going to be their starter, and I'm not
Yep.
saying he's not going to be good, but he doesn't. And the little things that I've seen of him, he doesn't look like he is an elite player at all at this point.
Right. Yeah. At this
He might
point, I
get
would.
there, but
Yeah,
not yet.
he's still learning, and yeah, I think the Broncos lost too much, and then also the fact that they're paying Russ Wilson to play on a different team is unreal to me.
Yep, for sure.
So yeah, Chiefs win, beat the Broncos in Arrowhead.
All right, then the team that we tend to play every year at the
Uh-huh.
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
So, and now we're getting into middle of November here, so we're not quite to 6 foot snow yet in Buffalo, but we're getting close
No.
to it.
Yeah. Cold. But I don't think the Bills are going to be very good at all. And I think I say that every year, but this year I mean it. This year it's going to happen because I think of the defensive players they lost, and then also their wide receivers. I mean, both are just like the Chargers. They're 1 and 2 guys. They're going to depend on a lot of rookies and a lot of Josh Allen. And we see Josh Allen is spectacular to watch. I mean, he is one of the guys yeah, I'd pay money to watch him play because he is so good. But I think when you get too much Josh Allen, it just does not go well for the Buffalo Bills. So Chiefs with a win here in Buffalo, Orchard Park.
The Bills lost way too much this offseason, didn't replenish. They're not going to be near as good. They're going to be struggling most of the year. Maybe a prediction for later, but I don't know that they're going to make the playoffs this year. So moving on at Carolina.
Yeah,
I
North
think
Carolina.
I don't think they're good still. They had the number one pick last year, but because they traded it, they didn't have the number one pick.
Yep.
So they're still going to be bad. So
Yep.
Chiefs are going to get an easy W there.
Yep. Easy dub. Hopefully easy.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, set aside, hopefully no big injuries to anybody or anything like that. Then we host the Raiders. And this is on Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hosting the Raiders. I feel like, man, that pass rush is really good. And they beat us last year in Arrowhead, but I just think the fuel and what the Chiefs are trying to do with the three-peat, I think that's I think their mission. They're going to be very focused all year. So give me the dub against the Raiders. I hate the Raiders too.
All right, I'll take the dub too. Raiders are not going to be good.
Yeah.
Next week we got hosting the Chargers. I think this is the one that the Chiefs are going to drop. I think the Chargers are going to figure it out by this point in the season, and they might be too far back to make the playoffs at this point, but they're still going to play the Chiefs well. I think the Chiefs will drop this one in the division.
Yeah, I will go the opposite. I'll say the Chargers will not win and the Chiefs will win.
All right. Next week we go to the Browns. So,
what are the Browns going to be?
Nobody knows. I don't know. The Browns know what the Browns are going to be. So they think they got something in Deshaun Watson, but I don't know that he's really going to be back to his full form. I don't know that he'll ever get back to where he was in Houston. And because of that, I think they're going to struggle every year. They'll be competitive, but they're not going to make any deep runs in the playoffs.
And Kareem Hunt's still there.
Yeah.
And Chubb is probably not playing much, or he'll probably be playing at this point, right? Or he'll be on the field.
If he's healthy, he'll be on the field.
There you go. So, well, and I don't. Yeah, their defense is elite. Jameis Winston's the backup. I mean, if Jameis is playing, I'm a little nervous. So this is in the dog pound. I don't know about this one. I'm going to say the Chiefs win, though. It's a noon o'clock. It's a 12 o'clock game. Chiefs winning. No one's watching.
Yeah. Chiefs are going to take that one. The next one is the tough one. And then we go and we're going to host the Houston Texans. It's on a Saturday this year.
On a Saturday, the Texans.
Yeah, this is one I've struggled with because the Texans were good last year, but is CJ Stroud going to have any sort of sophomore slump?
I don't know. They got Stephon Diggs down there now.
I know. They're going to be good again. But they're going to be competitive either way, but this is...
Right. This is at home, though. I think Arrowhead crowd's a real thing. I think the home field advantage is a real thing. So I'm going to go ahead and give me the Chiefs. They're going to show the Texans that they own the AFC and not them yet.
Yeah, I go back and forth on this one. So I think the Chiefs could win for all the reasons you did, but I also think that at some point they're just going to drop a few of them. And this is going to be one that I think just kind of sneaks in there and gets you.
There you go.
Not that they're not going to be ready, but they're just going to be kind of focusing on postseason stuff at this point because there's only a few weeks left in the season.
Right.
And they're going to slip up here a little bit. But that's only 3 losses that I got. So the next week, we go to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, they might as well mail the W in the mail to us.
Yeah, with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields out there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback.
There you go. Yeah. So give me. I think Russ is a fine player. I think Justin Fields is a little still immature. Still needs to get some work going. But so I don't think it matters who. And then I think the Chiefs win this one easily, so they can rest their players next week.
All right. So if they're resting their players at Denver, what happens?
They lose.
They lose. All right, I'm still saying.
No, I don't know. Carson Wentz is our backup.
I'm still saying the Chiefs are going to pull that out because I think Denver is so bad, going to be so bad this year because there's just so many unknowns about them. Between them and the Raiders, I don't know that either one of those teams really helped themselves out a lot this year. So,
that was the hilarious thing. I mean, so I'm going to go Chiefs win with Carson Wentz. Backing them up, Pat, and so
Oh, so you're changing they're going to.
I'm changing the win. So I got 2 losses on the year.
Yeah, you got 2 and I got 3. So we'll look at back at the end of the season and see who is more accurate. Although when we get to these games every week, I can already tell you I'm going to predict the Chiefs are going to win.
Yes, they're going to win every game.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say every week. But right now, looking ahead, I'm saying okay, they'll drop a few, but once we get there and be like. No, they're not dropping that. They can't lose to them. So
they can't lose to the Falcons. I don't even know why I said that.
That's right. All right, here's a question for you. So jumping into this year, does Isaiah Pacheco, is he going to hit 1,000 rushing yards this year?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit off air, if you will. And
I will not, but go ahead.
Oh, well,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, you convinced me that I think he could have 1,000-yard year, but I think it all depends on his health. But yeah, I would say like right now, what did he get last year? Like 9, 7, 8, 820 something, 823.
I will let you know.
Okay, so yeah, I think Pacheco. He looks lean. He looks mean. He's ready to go. And again, I think it depends on his health. But yeah, I think he can get 1,000 yards. And Pat can get 5,000 yards passing and 50 touchdowns.
He could. We'll find out. So last year he had 935 yards. So he was
930, so close.
Oh yeah, so he's only 65 yards away last year. And the previous year he had 830 his rookie year. So
right,
I think he's going to get it this year. I mean, I think with the offensive attack that's going to be a lot more focused downfield. I think defense are going to have to pick whether they want to stack the box or keep them from running deep or throwing deep. And I think they're going to try to keep them from beating them over the top and force you to be in the middle. And I think it's going to open things up for Isaiah Pacheco and Carson Steele and Clyde and all those guys too. And so I think Pacheco's going to get his 1,000 yards this year.
Whew, there you go.
So what about this though? Which wide receiver is going to have the most receiving yards this year? There's a lot of options this year.
There's a lot of options.
Hollywood Brown is injured, but they're projecting to him to be back either the first week or if not, then pretty soon after that. But then you also got the rookie Xavier Worthy, who set the all-time record at the NFL Combine for the fastest
Yep.
40-yard time. Then you still got Rashee Rice from last year. You still got some of these other speedsters that,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to get a lot of yards, but either Tony or Hardman. So I don't think either one of them are going to pick them. But so between
Yeah, I
those
think there's
three,
like three guys. There's like three
yeah,
guys that could do it, right? Three
right,
guys: Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice, or Xavier Worthy.
yeah.
So I'm going with the sophomore Rasheed Rice.
Well, that's who I was going to go with, but since you picked that, I'll pick somebody else. And I'll say
Oh,
this
okay.
about Rashee Rice. The reason I was going to pick him is because in the preseason, Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes was going to him a lot as if he was very
Yes.
comfortable with him. And
Right.
so that helps. But I think once Hollywood Brown gets back, I'm going to go with him. I think he's going to set it because the
Okay.
very first play of the very first preseason game,
Yeah, he threw it to
Pat
him.
Mahomes threw it to Brown, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
But
Do you think which
the,
of
the big
the
question about that is if he can stay healthy, because he's been injury prone his career. So if he can stay healthy, Hollywood Brown will lead the wide
right?
receivers in yards.
Okay, so as a diva, I feel like I'm a diva. That so I want to make that clear. I'm like, on when we play sports, I'm like, oh yeah, anyway. Who's more of a diva out of those three? Brown, Worthy, or Rice?
Well, between those three, it's got to be Brown, right?
Okay. So
I don't think
like
Rashee Rice
yeah.
can't be because he's a sophomore and he knows he's in trouble
Right.
with
Yeah.
things even outside of football.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy doesn't know what he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And so between those three, it's got to be Brown because
So is he going to be the loud? I guess is he going to be the loudest if he doesn't get the ball?
I don't know that any of these guys will because there's such
Okay.
a culture about that.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs locker room about not making it about you. If Travis Kelce's not calling for the ball, you have no right to call for the ball.
None whatsoever.
So that's why I think that if someone does, when he looks over and sees Travis Kelce just doing his role, doing his job,
Right.
I think he's gonna just kind of get in line with that and go with it.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, there was some big news that came out yesterday, though. It was either shortly before the Chiefs game, I believe. But Creed Humphrey got a new contract, making him the highest paid center in the league. So,
Wow.
pretty big contract he got there for himself, too. But it brings about this question. Here's his number for it, too. 4 years, $72 million. I believe that's $18 million a year for 4 years. So, he's been making some good money.
Yeah.
Pretty close to what you make as a pastor, I think.
Ah!
One day you can get on.
There you go. One day. One day. Wow.
But with that said, I mean, we now have the highest paid kicker in the NFL.
Uh-huh.
We now have the highest paid center, or will be, in the NFL.
Uh-huh.
We now have the highest paid. Oh, who's the other guy I was thinking of? Anyways,
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
Right?
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
defensive tackle.
Yeah.
So, because Aaron Donald retired, so Chris Jones is up there now. And then you also have Travis Kelce is now the highest paid tight end as well. So, I mean, you got 4 positions who are the highest paid in the league, and Patrick Mahomes, who is not far behind first place. Either.
Right.
So, and he's only not first because other guys have gotten contracts after him.
Yep.
And so you got 5 guys who are legitimately taking up a huge chunk of your salary cap.
Oh yeah.
And and that's part of what happens when you win Super Bowls. Guys think, well, we keep winning, and it's because I'm on this team, so you need to pay me. And it's also why some of these other guys can go to other teams and get paid a lot of money. I mean, Juju won the Super Bowl, went to the Patriots, got paid a lot of money, and now he's already been cut from that team this year because they were paying him too much for what he was producing. So, my question is, with all that said, what do you do if you're the GM? Like, what positions do you target that you want to pay the most?
Obviously, offensive line, defensive line, I think are the ones. Maybe not everybody on the line, but strategic spots, left tackle, center. Like give me a good guard, or right tackle. And then
You basically just named all of them but one. So
well,
basically everybody on the offensive line.
I'm not gonna pay. I don't think I'd pay like a guard like crazy amount, but I think I'd pay a
Yeah.
center, and I don't think 72 million is crazy. I know that sounds crazy to say 72 million for 4 years but I think, I think that's he. I mean, the center touches the ball as much as the quarterback
Or more.
or more. Yeah,
Yeah, depending
because
on the play, if he's
yeah,
rolling out or whatever. But yeah,
yeah. So I mean, like you want to have a good center, a solid center, and then I think like the edge rushers and I think you get away with like a quality nose guard. You don't have to pay him a big bucks, but yeah, because I think that makes your corners look better, makes your safety look better if you can get pressure on the quarterback and you can keep pressure off your quarterback. It's going to give him time. I mean, we've seen that happen. You give Pat Mahomes time, he's going to find somebody, and you can find. And if Travis Kelce has 6 seconds, he's going to get open somehow, some way.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you. I think outside of quarterbacks, I think that's a given.
Right.
You got to pay quarterback if he's good. But outside of that, I would pay my edge rushers.
Yeah.
I would pay my left tackle, maybe my right tackle. I would not pay him as much as the Chiefs paid their right tackle, but I'd pay him. I would pay my center, and maybe one wide receiver.
Yeah.
But if you
or
have
tight end.
Yeah, or tight end. But if you have a great quarterback, you can get away with not having the number one wide receiver in the league. Like if you have a Patrick Mahomes, you don't have to have the number one wide receiver because you can get the number 10 wide receiver, make him look like the number one.
Right.
So,
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah. Yeah.
One with a rookie last year. And I think, like you said, it's all about the right quarterback. Like Mahomes led the Chiefs with a rookie wide receiver and a veteran tight end.
Yeah.
To win.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So I think, here's a question with Juju since he just got cut. And since Hollywood Brown is injured, would you be interested in bringing him back?
I think I text you, bring him back.
So you would be.
I would be, especially as the Patriots are paying him and he's willing to play for like the veteran minimum. I think is like $1 million,
Yeah,
and so
I'd do that too.
Yeah. And why not?
I would not pay him a lot of money, but if he's willing to come in for close to the minimum, I'd bring him in just for more depth, if nothing else.
Right. Then you can put him on the practice squad. No one's going to take him. Like you put him back down, up. You want to get like Justin Ross more reps or whatever. You can do that.
Yep. Yeah. After his year last year with the Patriots, no one's snatched him off your practice squad unless they have some significant injuries to their team.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. So, all right, last question or thing for you today. Any big predictions for the year? Some hot takes for you?
For the Chiefs or for just the league?
For anybody. I already know one because you've told me about it at least 3 times this offseason.
I think I've said it on here. The Buffalo Bills will not win more than 8 games.
8? You went back to 8, huh?
Yeah, 8 games.
I'm just saying because before you told me 8, then you said 7, so...
Well, I think I said 7, but then I realized the Patriots are still terrible.
That's true. That's true.
That's 2 wins.
That's 2 wins right there.
Yeah, that's 2 wins right there for them. So I'm like, I don't know. So
are you saying they're going to get 8 or less, or?
Yeah, 8 or less.
All right.
Yeah, 8 or less. So you're writing this down. I mean, that makes me nervous.
Yeah, I am writing it down because I'm going to come back to it and see how these things go. We're not Pat
Mahomes is gonna. Yeah.
We're not out here just flippantly saying things just to say things. I mean, we could, but we're gonna be honest and logical about all these things and say, hey, you know what?
Integrity.
If we missed it.
We're gonna have integrity.
Hey,
yes.
Two pastors here. If we can't have integrity, nobody.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Right. That's right.
The other big thing would be Pat Mahomes is going to have 50 and 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, over 50 touchdowns, and 5,000 yards passing.
Man, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'll say this: the Chiefs are going to lead the league in scoring this year.
Okay.
I'll tell you, 2 years ago I predicted that. I don't know if you remember. I got it right that time.
That was the year after. That was a bold prediction
that
because
was the year
Tyreek Hill just
Juju.
left.
Yep,
Yeah,
and they got Juju, and I predicted they'd lead the league. And I don't know if I'm going to nail it again this year, but I feel good about it with them having a good rushing game and now
right.
being able to air it out a little bit more. So I'm feeling pretty confident about that. So,
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So,
so all right, well. I would agree with you. The Buffalo Bills are not going to have many wins, but I'm not going to go out as far as say how many yet.
okay, all right, all right.
But I'll say this, I think Pacheco is going to get 1,000 yards. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll write that one.
you can take that to the bank. I know you. You believe that one, and
I
you're really
do.
good. You're really good at these predicting what these players will do.
Well, I try to be. I don't always
Because
hit it, but I try to be.
I
But
think last year you predicted Rashid Rice was going to be the wide receiver leader and in receptions and yards, and he was.
yeah, well, sometimes I can just see a little bit here. So, but this isn't going to surprise you. I think Carson Steele is going to be the
Oh,
second person on the team because Pacheco, he's not going to take snaps away from Pacheco, but he's going to be the second backfield guy as far as fullback or running back, as far
yeah.
as all-purpose yards.
Well,
So
I
that's not
also think
necessarily a bold prediction, but I
no.
think
I
he's
also think it's
more
going
than
to be
inclined.
electric because I think we all know Andy loves a fullback,
Oh yeah, oh
and
yeah,
so if they'll put both of them in, Pacheco and Steele, I mean the options are just unlimited.
oh yeah, and they're going to because,
Yeah,
like you said, Andy loves a fullback.
the
So
sausage. Give me the
that's right,
sausage,
that's
baby.
right, that's right. Hey, we're excited for the year. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
I'm pumped for it to start. Hard to believe it's almost here again. Uh,
yeah,
have a short off season when you win the Super Bowl, so I'll take
that's
it. I'll
right.
take a short off season every single year. So, looking forward to another great year. But want to remind you, this episode is brought to you by Oh Hey Threads, where a portion of every purchase goes to support missions all over the world. One super soft tee at a time. You can find them online at ohheythreads.com. Yeah, they made our shirts here, and
Yeah,
from what I hear, there's some more in the works. So keep your eye
there
out.
you
Check out
go.
our website as well, kkpodcast.com. You can find all the information there. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.